We're a little late. It's all my fault. I woke up late and then had to update my laptop. Um, but no, going into yesterday, we kind of had a boring day as far as like the matchups that were available for us to watch. Um, and about every single one of them played out how they were supposed to. They went pretty much chalk. Um, but that's kind of a good thing as far as the playoff goes, because it's adding to a lot of the craziness that we're gonna see going forward. Right now, as it sits, with Alabama at 10, um, chalk does not help them, especially going into the SEC championship. If they lose to Texas A&M, I mean I don't know how the playoff committee will do it, but I can't imagine that if they lose to A&M, that'll be three losses, and then like a Miami or a BYU, if they win the championship, they're not going to leave out Texas Tech. Notre Dame is looking a lot better, so I don't think they leave Notre Dame out. And it's just adding more and more to it. Then, like in a situation that Michigan beats Ohio State, Vanderbilt wins out, Utah wins out. It's just adding to like a possibility where we don't see Alabama again in the playoff, which is crazy to me. I had the number one like a month ago, and um,
Yeah.
it's it just this one loss can push you that far back. But what did you kind of think about yesterday, just in general?
I mean, it was kind of what we expected, but then there were some deep cut games that like people weren't really looking at. Like Pitt absolutely drum rolled Georgia Tech. The Georgia Tech's probably out. I mean, I would almost guarantee it. The only way Georgia Tech would be in is like they beat Georgia, and then some other things also have to happen. Um, Wisconsin
I don't
beat.
even know now if they get through
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wisconsin. Who did Wisconsin beat yesterday? Because that was an upset.
Illinois.
Illinois.
They
So
beat
that was
Illinois.
a yeah, that was a big game. It was kind of a crazy game. Washington thumped UCLA, which Washington that makes them 8-3. So I'm kind of anxious to see, where they put them, if they put them into the top 25 or if they don't. It does. I mean, I wouldn't say it matters either way. Once you get down past like 15, like the only thing it's helping is like top teams with resumes, really. I think this year especially, we're gonna see there's going to be a lot more arguments for expanding the playoffs even more, just because you're going to have those USC's and Texas's and teams like that are going to be kind of out, but a lot of people think they should be in. Um, and I kind of think that's where they should how do I want to say it? Like re-look at like bowl games, because nobody wants to see like USC go play, Memphis, because they're the highest rated, you know, G League team. Like it just like we want to see good matchups. That's like to me, if we're not like if the bowl games really don't mean anything, I think matchup wise, that's where you're gonna get the most viewers that really like college football. Like the people who don't like college football aren't gonna care about it. But the people like me and you that like college football, like last year, South Carolina, Illinois, great matchup. Now, did it matter? No, but it was fun to watch because it was a good matchup. It was a good matchup for both teams. Michigan, Alabama, great matchup, and it ended up being a good game too. So I think, especially the bowl games that don't matter, like Texas, their bowl game's not going to matter. USC bowl game's not going to matter. Washington, probably Vanderbilt, Missouri, all those teams, Tennessee, like teams that, I wouldn't say that are great. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs, but I would like to see them play somebody besides like Kansas State when it's like, okay, they're going to drum Kansas State regardless. So I
Right.
think that's big. But other than that, man, there really weren't like too many huge games. I mean, Ohio State handled, I'm not going to say a good team in Rutgers. They're battling for not playoff, but they're battling for a bowl, appearance, but they're not. I mean, we beat them 42-9, so it's not like it was a real thing. I'm hoping we get our receivers back because if we don't get our receivers back, it could cause problems. So, I mean, and like you said, everybody kind of did what they were supposed to do. I mean, there was a few decent games, but next week is kind of if you had Christmas shopping to do or something to do with your wife, or your girlfriend, or your fiance, you should have done it this week. Because next week, I mean, if you leave your house after Thursday, after Thanksgiving, I don't know what you're doing.
And even Thursday, you got NFL Thanksgiving, so
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't know. Who do you think have had the most impressive win?
do what now?
My internet is or my laptop is just pooping the bed right now. I was saying Oregon kind of had obviously the biggest
Yeah.
win ranked wise.
Yep.
And they were good doing it. Jordan or Jaden Maava had a great game, but outside of
Yeah.
that, Oregon kind of controlled that game.
Yeah, and I would kind of put.
And I think. Sorry.
No, you're good. I would kind of put that Oregon win on the same kind of pedestal as Georgia beating Texas. I mean, USC and Texas, I would put them roughly in the same category. I mean, one's like really good on offense, one's really good on defense, and they both kind of struggle on the other side of the ball. I would love to see that as a bowl matchup. I think that would be great. Two big brands, they match up well against each other, but I would kind of put that on the same perspective. Is kind of, and if you wanted to rank Oregon above Georgia, I mean, okay, go ahead. I probably would have them ranked above Georgia, but if somebody said they have Georgia ranked above Oregon, like, okay, I'm not going to argue that. Like, there's no point for me to argue that because you have valid points to make that argument.
Right. And I think it was important for Oregon just because Oregon hadn't really had like a real signature win. I mean, they beat Illinois.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they kind of lost to
Yep.
Indiana, and then they didn't really have
Yeah.
a huge resume builder outside of the Illinois and then the Penn State game. So I think that was a big game for them, and they controlled it, and it kind of got rid of a lot of doubt I had about Oregon. I mean, I've been low on Oregon all year just because they were young, but that was pretty impressive. I think Oklahoma too.
Yeah.
The thing about Oklahoma to me is you're never going to see them score 35 points.
Yeah.
But are you going to see a team score 35 on them either? I don't think so. I think they just control teams from the front. Their defensive line is crazy. They don't even have their best defensive lineman, and their defensive line's been playing great. Their run game is still pretty good. I mean, John Mechir led them yesterday with 60, but it's like whenever they need plays, their run game kind of steps up. Isaiah Satania is good for 170-yard run after
Yeah.
catch every week, feels like.
Yep.
And I just think it's a situation where Oklahoma's going to be a tough team to beat, no matter who it is. I like them against A&M. I like them against Georgia. I don't know about against Ohio State. Ohio State really has a great offense. It feels like they can beat you in a lot of ways offensively through their
Yeah.
pass game. They get the ball out so quick that they negate a lot of defensive line play. But Oklahoma could give them fits. I think Oklahoma probably beats Notre Dame. Obviously, we see Oklahoma beat Alabama. I just think Oklahoma's a weird matchup for whoever they play, and I don't think it's necessarily because they just have the greatest team. I just think what they have works, and it works in a playoff scenario too because defense travels. I think that was kind of my biggest takeaway outside of that Oregon game yesterday was the Oklahoma win. If you had to, I don't know the thing about this playoff and how it's shaping up is if BYU wins out and Texas Tech wins out, they're in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
If BYU beats Texas Tech the second time around, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think Texas Tech will beat them. But in the scenario that Texas Tech loses the Big 12 championship, is the Big 12 a two-bid league in that scenario? I mean, I would say yes.
I
Who
mean,
are you losing on?
they would have to be. I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, it's like you look at Oregon has one loss. What would be a Big Ten like? Who has two losses in the Big Ten that would still be in contention?
Michigan.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'll just use Michigan because I don't want to jinx myself and say we're just going to beat them because this week did not give me any hope towards that. But let's just say, I mean, Michigan with a big win at the end of the year over Ohio State, like, I mean, you would have to keep them in. And then I don't really think there's any other two-loss teams in the Big Ten. Yeah, we kind of go from one loss down to three losses after Michigan if they beat us next week. The SEC, I guess Vanderbilt. Like, would you put them in over Vanderbilt? Do you think they're better? That's where it comes down to. Like, when you compare two-loss teams, like you can go down this rabbit hole of like, well, they have this win over this team and this loss over this team and blah blah blah. But it's like at that point, you got to look at them and be like, do you think Texas Tech would beat Vanderbilt? It's like, yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, they control the
Yeah.
line of
I mean,
scrimmage. Yeah, so
it
like
would be a
that's
tough
where,
one. I mean,
yeah,
it would be probably a good game.
it would be a good game. I would think that I would favor Texas Tech over Vanderbilt. So that's where it goes for me. Because I don't know if we're gonna get an ACC team in. I mean, is there an
No,
ACC team that? I mean, does their
Miami.
conf? Yeah, they have two losses, don't they? So like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I think BYU and Texas Tech are better than any ACC team. And then obviously they're better than the G5 team that they're supposed to let in, which I think is dumb. I get why they do it, but I think it should be a year-to-year thing, not just like, well, we got to let a 7-3 Memphis in because they're the highest rated G5 team. And it's like I mean, I get it, but I mean, we could really get down to a scenario to where uh Miami wins the conference and they're sitting at, let's say, 11, and Notre Dame's sitting at 10. And like, those are kind of like, what, I mean, what do you do? That's the thing that the Infinity doesn't want to happen. Because Notre Dame right now looks like a way better team than Miami. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
Like, they do. They don't look like the same team of the first 2 weeks. So, like, if we're going to benefit some teams that say, hey, this team does not look anything like, what they did at the beginning of the season, kind of like what we said for Alabama, because I was on the same train. They don't look anything like week 1 or week 2. They look like a different team. Well, then Notre Dame does too. I mean, Notre Dame doesn't look like the same team. I mean, they just gave Syracuse 70. I mean, I mean, that's where I think that's what the committee doesn't want to happen, because it's going to cause problems. If Miami wins out, Notre Dame wins out, and they kind of keep them around the same spot, because then it comes into the head-to-heads don't matter. They do matter, but they don't matter. It's just, I don't know, man. It could get real funky, real weird, real fast.
Well, and then you get into a situation. If Alabama wins the SEC championship, we don't really have this conversation because Alabama's going to
Yes.
get in. You're not going to knock Texas A&M all the way out.
Yeah.
Georgia would still make it. Oregon would still make it. I think Notre Dame pretty safely is probably in. So
Yeah.
you don't really have a conversation. You just push out whoever loses the Big 12 championship, even if it's Texas Tech, I think, and you just get that through 11, and then you get whoever the G5 is, and
Yeah.
I think that kind of
It,
sucks, but I mean that's just the reality we're in right now. If you're a Big 12 fan, you are cheering for Alabama to lose. You just
yeah.
are.
It does. I mean, it does bring up a thing. If Alabama loses, and I could see Alabama losing to Texas
Yeah.
Tech or Texas A&M, like, that's a 3-loss team, and I know people say like conference championships don't matter. Like, if you lose or you win, like, you're in, and like, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, so you're gonna hold out another team that
I just
has,
think they set it up last year where this is a
yeah,
bad thing because they let SMU in and
yep,
SMU lost their conference championship, and obviously
Yeah.
they had to put Clemson in because Clemson won, and they get an automatic bid, or blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think they
Yeah.
set this up to be a
'Cause-
bad conversation moving forward.
Because BYU has one loss and Texas Tech has one loss.
Yep.
And then so then it comes down. I don't know, man. It's really weird because then you're taking a 3-loss Alabama versus a 2-loss
Big 12.
2-loss Big 12 team, and it's like you could argue all day long, like, "Oh, well, look at Alabama's schedule." It's like, well, I mean, yeah, but Missouri's not a top 25 team anymore. So I don't know. Like, don't lose the first game of the season. Like, sorry, I don't like that's where we kind of fall back into that BCS type feel. Like, if you like that BCS type feel, then like every game does matter. Don't lose the first game of the season against a sorry Florida State team. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, you kind of set yourself up where you had to win out. So either win the SEC or you're out. And guess what? If you didn't want to play that extra game, then you wouldn't, like, because Georgia isn't going to be in that situation. They lost to Alabama. So I don't know, man. It's really weird because, like, I understand where people come from. Like, oh, well, they went to the SEC championship game and lost, so they have that extra game. And it's like, well, yeah, but if they wouldn't be in the SEC, then that would have meant they would have had to lose to Georgia, and they would have had 3 losses anyways. So it's like it's all leans back to you lost your out of conference game, and like I mean Georgia's about to go play Georgia Tech. I don't think they're going to lose to Georgia Tech, but we've seen wilder stuff happen this year. So they would still be in because guess what? They only have one conference loss, and I don't know. That's a whole thing that a lot of people are going to have to figure out, and I kind of want it to happen. I mean, personally.
Yeah, and I think it would be, I don't know. It just almost seems like this is all setting up for us to have a bigger playoff. And I mean, I can't do it next year. It'll be next year too, but 27 that cycle.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't know. I think to an extent, we're getting to a point where we're trying to appease everyone. We're trying to appease everyone. We're trying to appease everyone, and then we're going to get to a point where we dilute the playoff, where we're going to have. I mean, playoff's going to be fun either way, but you're going to have teams in there that don't have any reason to be in a playoff situation.
Yeah. I mean, like ACC shouldn't probably be in this year. Like the G5 shouldn't be in
at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind BYU and Texas Tech getting in. I mean, I really don't. I mean,
I don't really care about BYU. I mean, I don't really care about Texas Tech. I don't think BYU is a deserving team. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they beat one. But I mean, they can't help their schedule in the conference, and they won the games they're supposed to win. So, I mean,
it's kind of the same way. Besides them being undefeated, like Texas A&M's kind of in the same boat, kind of like the 2019 or the 2021 Georgia team. Like Texas A&M has not beaten anybody. Like no, like they haven't played. They didn't play Georgia. They didn't play Alabama. They play Texas. But other than that, they really haven't beaten anybody. My bad if I did I blank out. I got a phone call. But they really haven't beaten anybody. Same thing with Ohio State. We haven't really played the toughest conference schedule. We played Michigan at the end of the year, and we played Illinois, and Penn State was supposed to be a big game. But I think it really dives into like. I definitely agree. Like, if your conference is not that good, then that should be taken into account. But like, you should also look into the analytics of like points allowed per game, yards allowed per game, yards per game, points per game, and like kind of do that and like look into it that way instead of just being like, well, this team deserves to get in just because they deserve to get in. I mean, I don't know. I want carnage outside of Ohio State because I really don't feel like losing to Michigan again this year. Um, but I also do like just competitive college football all the way around. Another big thing that can happen, like we have the Egg Bowl, which is a big game. I mean, Ole Miss should win that game pretty handedly, but Lane Kiffin's gone. I mean, we can all just come down to agree like he's leaving, and I don't know, man.
There's a lot of smoke around that program right now, and this is setting up to a situation where Ole Miss, if let's say they don't come out focused and they lose that game, yeah, they're out. But I almost think that it definitely adds to. I don't. But the thing is it's hard to say they're out too because that would be a two-loss team. I mean, it wouldn't be a three-loss team. It's just a two-loss team, and then I mean, Alabama lost to a crappy Florida State. Would Mississippi State, a loss against Mississippi State, really be as bad as a Florida State loss? Or, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying they would be out. I'm just saying it's gonna.
I would say they would because of where it is in the schedule. I think that
Yeah,
recency
and
bias is a big thing on
and
that.
who have they beat? I mean, I know they beat Oklahoma,
That
but
would be
like,
their biggest team would be Oklahoma, and then they beat Tulane like a drum, and I
yeah,
mean,
and like, but then they also you turn back and you also look at like they also have a lot of close wins against teams that they shouldn't have close wins against. Like Kentucky, close win. And I know a win's a win. I'm not saying that it's not. It opens up the door for a lot of arguments, and I think it depends on how they lose. If they lose bad, yeah, I could see them definitely being out. Should they be? I don't know. I mean, I would never think that a two-loss Big Ten or two-loss SEC team would ever be out, but I mean, since we already started the train last year with the whole automatic qualifying and like this team has to get in and that team has to get in. This is why I feel like it's very, very important to do cross conference games instead of, and this isn't just a knock on the SEC for scheduling the way that they scheduled this week, it's a knock on everybody that does it. Do you really need three cupcake games? Like, I get one. I understand one. I understand nobody, like Ohio State, Texas, I didn't mind the game, but I would rather it be in week 2 instead of week 1. Like, I think everybody should get a cupcake week 1, and then everybody play 8 conference games, and then you have 4 out of conference games. One of your out of conference games gets to be whoever you want. It can be Illinois State Penitentiary or whatever you want it to be, School of the Blind. And then if you're Ohio State, you got to play a Big 12 team, you got to play an ACC team, and you got to play an SEC team. And I just think that gets rid of a lot of this, like, back and forth. Like, it makes it to where there's more transparency between all conferences all around the country, and you kind of get bargaining chips back and forth to say, hey, Michigan lost to Oklahoma. I know they're a 2-loss team, but like they did lose to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is like middle to bottom tier in the SEC. So we got to take that as a not transitive property, but like a chip that you look at to say, okay, we need to look into this. Because right now you don't really get that. I mean, you get it every once in a while, but it's not a lot.
no, and it is getting more frequent. But I think in a scenario where Alabama gets left out, I think that changes a lot in the SEC because even though they did lose to a crappy Florida State team, and
Yeah.
it's a Florida State team that the wheels have completely fallen off now. At the
Yeah.
time, um, it was like a motivated Florida State team. I get all that, but
Yeah.
I think I think that scares a lot of teams because if let's say you do lose, let's say Illinois loses to Duke.
Yeah.
Let's say Illinois loses that game, and Illinois is at a point where they're 2 loss. It's like, well, do we really
Yeah.
need to play Duke anymore? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, and then if Alabama gets left out, it's going to really just increase the whole we need to go to 11 automatic bids. And if BYU gets left out, it's going to go to we have to go to the format where it's 4-4-2-2-1. I think this is going to be a big time pivotal playoff in like how they do selections and who they pick and who they put in over other teams. Like it's going to get real wild. I mean, personally, I really do think so. But because you have your top 5 or 6 that are I would say the guaranteed teams that are definitely going to get in. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. I think they're guaranteed to get in. Then your other teams that are,
Too. I mean, I don't think they lose to Georgia Tech.
yeah, I mean, you can throw Georgia in there too. So that would be the 4 that you're guaranteed definitely getting in. And then you get down into your, I mean, Oregon could lose to Washington.
We got a lot of win in your wins. I mean, Oregon, Ole Miss,
Yep.
Georgia. I would even put Alabama in there. I mean,
Yeah.
in your next games you're in. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah. Who do they play? Oh, they play Auburn. I mean,
Yeah,
we might not even be having this conversation, really.
No,
I mean, I don't think Auburn. I don't know, man. It's such a wild year. Like that's what's good about next weekend is it's rivalry. I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Rivalry week. Yeah. There we go. And you like anything could happen. I mean, last year Georgia went to 9 overtimes with Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech they were. I don't know. I want to say they were better last year just because they're a defense, but so was Georgia. Georgia was a little bit better last year, I think. So, and I mean, Ohio State lost to Michigan, which was a 24.5-point favorite at home. And we see it all the time. I mean, Georgia played Florida in their rivalry game of 4 or 5 weeks ago. Same thing, closer game than a lot of people like to admit. And that's why we like college football. I mean, that's really it because I don't know. I think what we talked about at the beginning of the season, Mason, which was it could really start feeling like 2007 big upsets. Now, it really does feel like a 2007 type season, but it seems like it's more like 2007 from like, the 5th, 6th, 7th team down, not really the top 3.
And I think, I don't know. I think if your team gets screwed, you can put all your blame on one guy. That's Hunter Yurachek, the AD of the University of Arkansas. He is now the leading chair on the College Football Playoff Committee.
Yeah.
If your team gets screwed, send all your complaints to Fayetteville. I'm sure they won't be read because we've been complaining for 3 years.
Wow.
None of them seem to be.
Wow.
But
what happened?
Let's talk about some coaching searches real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Sorry. What I was going to say on the coaching searches is we're going to figure out a lot of things next week. Everything I'm hearing is like Arkansas is coming to a head. I'm sure Florida is coming to like, some kind of conclusion pretty soon. It looks like LSU is getting Lane Kiffin. I mean, I can't say that definitively just yet.
Yeah.
But it looks like Lane Kiffin's going to Ole Miss, or Lane Kiffin's going to LSU.
Yep.
Everything I'm hearing is John Summerall from Tulane to Ole Miss, and then you're gonna get the Tulane spot's got to get filled, and I'm sure that there's some movement in the Big Ten that we're bound to see. I mean, I know we see Luke Fickell, he won, and that is kind of a thing, but like
I think he signed another.
UCLA's got to be filled.
Luke Fickell signed a year extension, so I think he's staying. I think in the Big Ten, I think it's going to be more coordinators than anything. Like Oregon's offensive coordinator. God, I hope not. Brian Hartline. I think it's going to be coordinators more than head coaches. Who did you say Arkansas is really looking at?
Alex Golish is what I've been reading, but
I got you. I know.
I've also saw Alabama's defensive coordinator, which I don't want, and
I've seen
Silverfield, but
I've seen a thing on Pat Fitzgerald. I think that would be a really good hire for Arkansas personally. A lot of people don't know who that is. He was at Northwestern, which is a lot. I know Arkansas has a way longer history, but over the last 10 years, since 2014, Northwestern has been a better football program than Arkansas. Just in their respected conference, they've been to the conference championship. Now, the Big Ten used to be divided way different, and I get that, but he knows how to build and develop programs that aren't like if you go take Kirby Smart and drop him in Arkansas, it's going to be a shell shock. He's going to be like, are these 5 stars that are injured or like what are these? I haven't ever coached players like this. Um, I think it would be good for Arkansas to go get somebody that knows how to develop players. I know they did flight logs and all that, and Arkansas's private jet was up in Chicago, which is where Pat Fitzgerald is. I think that'd be a great hire. I also like Alex Golesh for Arkansas too.
Yeah.
It's just I think the main thing for Arkansas is are you gonna put the same resources into the football program like you did the basketball program? Because Arkansas's basketball program, it was okay before Musselman, but it wasn't like it is now. And then they started throwing money at it, and Arkansas is kind of what Arkansas is now. And it's going to be that way for all sports. And yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of coaching moves and a lot of coaching decisions, and it could get really crazy. Or if you have some of these interim head coaches that win their rivalry, like if Auburn goes out and beats Alabama, like I think they're going to keep the interim head coach. I think you have to. You got to at least give him a chance, unless you have some big fish that's coming in. But the big fish that would take a job like that would be James Franklin, and he's at Virginia Tech now. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be a great off season, personally.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of it after Thanksgiving. We're going to see a lot
Yeah.
of conclusions on a lot of these coaching searches. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a crazy week. I feel like. But that's all I really got for today. I mean, it's a quick episode, but there really wasn't a whole lot to talk about. We kind of stretched out a lot of topics here. Is there anything you got to say before we get out of here?
Not really, man. I mean, it's crazy how fast it's gone. We're already in week 12 and it doesn't even feel like it. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty much it, dude. It just feels wild how fast the season's gone by. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Besides just the regular like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and you know yeah, we'll see y'all Wednesday too. We're not doing a Thursday show because obviously it's Thanksgiving. And there's games on Thursday. So we're gonna do the show Wednesday, same time, 7:30, but it's gonna be Wednesday night instead of Thursday night. So kind of just keep that in mind. Turn your notifications on, it'll help you remember.
Yeah, and for us Arkansas fans, this is the end of Old Yeller. We're about to be put down finally, and we can move on with our life.
Y'all play Missouri.
Yeah, we're gonna get killed by Missouri. I'll preview that game right now. Missouri a lot, Arkansas a little, and they'll probably run the ball for about 300 yards.
I mean, maybe, but can Missouri throw the ball? Are they a decent passing offense?
Hey, against Arkansas, anyone can throw the ball. Michael
Yeah, that's true.
Can throw the ball enough to win. Well, I'm not even gonna get into the Arkansas thing. I've been talking about them. But yes, y'all have a good week. We will see y'all before Thanksgiving, but in case you don't watch or something, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time
for
with your
sure.
family. Remember what you're thankful for. Me and Justin, that's a special thing we're doing. Wednesday, 7:30. What are we thankful for? So I want everyone thinking about that. I want it in the comments. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's week.